Hey folks, welcome back to another Dice Tower preview. I'm Mark, and today we're taking a look at Win-Win Island, which is brought to you by Dandelion Productions. It's for 2 to 4 players, ages 8 and up, and games generally run about 45 to 120 minutes. Win-Win Island is a semi-cooperative board game where win-win deals are the key to victory. While playing, you are swept away to a beautiful island where more than one of you or even all of you might win. Each player has just been elected the leader of their town, and the goal is to make the lives of their friends and neighbors better by improving their village's standard of living, thus proving to be a leader worthy of support. Due to the win-win dynamics of this game, you will find yourself able to cheer for your fellow players while trading with them. You will build your town, explore your island, help your people, and maybe even get re-elected as leader of your village. Through the course of the game, you will support your fellow players. There is no guarantee of any winners, but there is also the possibility that more than one person or everyone could win. And in the end, when you work together, you and your fellow players will reap the benefits. So go ahead, feel free to cheer for your friends instead of against them. Welcome to Win-Win Island. So, setup on this one is variable based on player count. Each player receives their own dock, their own home area, and then between each of the docks, you're going to lay a number of the island cards, eventually forming this round island that you'll be traveling on, which is a really interesting visual part of the game for sure. Now, you also have your player token, and there's a whole bag of islanders that you can represent as you. You'll place one at the top of your token, but what's really fun is there's a little float because you will be floating between areas around the island, but they made one specifically of me. It actually looks a lot like me. They even got the hat right. Really nice, a fun aspect for sure. And then you have your series of different types of resources in the middle of the board, as well as some buildings that you're going to be using and building, like businesses and homes that are going to be out on the island. And you have a bunch of leadership action cards that you'll be tapping into at the end of every one of your turns. So gameplay here is very straightforward. You're going to be rolling a big chunky dice to move around the island. Now, you do have ways to augment your dice rolls, and different areas of the board will give you boosts to move around the island as well. Now, your goal here is to put together sets of buildings in order to generate resources. So at the top of your turn, you will always generate resources first. We'll take a look at those in a minute. Secondly, you're going to be rolling your dice, moving around the board, and thirdly, to end your turn, you'll be drawing one of the leader action cards, and that's really what you're doing. But again, the fun here is when you're interacting with your fellow players, trading different types of resources. You're always doing a one-for-one trade when you do that, and it's really up to you how you negotiate and trade with your fellow players. So, in order to generate those valuable resources, first you're going to have to explore the island, especially at the top of the game. You're going to be rolling dice, moving around the island, and revealing cards. Now, as you reveal cards, there's a couple different types. You've got cards or pieces of the island you can own and pieces you can't. For the ones you can own, you'll grab it and move it to the closest side of your dock, leaving you still floating in the ocean. But again, you're trying to create different sets of buildings in order to generate those resources. So if you're after wood, you're looking for lumber, so you need at least 2 to generate 1 resource. And if you have 3, you generate 2. And if you have 4, you generate 3, and so on and so forth. So lots of sets to be created as you move around the island, grabbing these different territories, place them next to your dock. Now, you could run into a situation where you have a lot of different types, no real sets. And this is where trading comes into play. You can do trades for 1-to-1. You're going to be able to trade your territory cards and your resource cards back and forth between the players, and that really is something you're going to be doing a lot of. You're going to be fostering this. You're going to be working together with your fellow players to try to optimize the best resources possible to help everyone out, and ultimately get you to a point where you're passing by and getting those islanders so you can be re-elected. So, along with the sets that you're trying to create to generate resources, you'll also find vacation spots. Vacation spots are also ownable and added to your particular dock, but the thing here is that these are going to give you some sort of benefit. Like the roller coaster gives you a +4 on your rolls when you land here and so forth. But there's also those non-ownable areas, like the coral reef, which is very thematic to the game. All of these cards are going to be very clear about what you do when you land on them, which is really nice. they've done a good job there because you don't have to consult the rule book and so forth. But here, Coral Reef, you're gonna land on this card, you're gonna roll a dice and get a benefit. And that's really what you're doing with the different types. Again, you're trying to find sets though to generate resources. And we'll take a closer look at what all these resources do for you. But through the course of the game, one of the ways you're trying to win-win, is come back around to your main dock. And as you do, you pull islanders from the bag and start to form this group around the campfire. And as you finally get 10 of them, then you will be voted back in as leader. Now, at the end of your turn, you're also going to be drawing one of these leadership action cards. Now, with these leadership cards, you'll also be creating sets to do various things, like the Friends of the Council. You'll collect 3 of these to build a business on any one of your properties. I like the campfire one because you get 4 of those. You can put an extra villager around your dock, and you have different ways to generate resources with these cards. So they're going to do all kinds of different things, and again, they're very self-explanatory what you're going to do with that particular card. And when you land on areas, your opponent's areas or your friends' areas, when you land there and they have different types of buildings, you can pay one of these cards face down in order to use the ability of those buildings. You're not paying to be there, you're just trying to use the benefit of that building to do various things. First, let's take a look at metal and energy, because both of those resources are going to allow you to augment your movement. So for metal, after you've calculated all your movement, you can pay a metal to move 1 space further. Or with energy, you can pay energy to double your move. So if you rolled a 4, you landed on a space that gives you 4 extra, giving you 8, then that would give you a total of 16 movement around the island. So use those resources wisely to end up where you need to do various things, and maybe help yourself get the best type of resources or areas of the island that you haven't uncovered yet. The graduate resource is all about building businesses. And when you land on a space with a business, then you can roll your dice again. Now, the thing with businesses is that you need 3 of the graduate resources in order to build one of those. And you'll just place it on your territory. You can never build more than 1 on a specific card, but you can build 1 for every territory that you own. Now, for wood, you need 2 wood to build a home. The benefit of homes is that it gives you a +3 to your rolls. So those both, again, are going to augment what you're doing and how you're moving around the island. Now, loans are about doubling your resources. So let's say you're generating 2 of a certain type, the loan will allow you to generate 4. So it's really that simple. So those are all the different types of resources and what you can basically do with them. Again, you're really working together with your fellow players to move around the island, generate the best types of sets and resources in order to move around more efficiently so you can get all the islanders and be re-elected. All right, folks, just a reminder once again, this has been a Dice Tower paid preview, and everything you've seen here has been in prototype form, so keep a close eye on the campaign for any changes that still may occur. Now, that said, I like the presentation. It does look like an island as you move around. It's some fun, whimsical cards, the artwork as well, and lots of different characters to customize your players and so forth. So, and those islanders that you pull from the bag can all be used as your character if you so choose. So, those are definitely the nice presentation part of the game, but it does really foster and teach cooperation. You got to work together. However, no one is there forcing you to do changes in the game or make your part of the island what they want it to be. It's all about what you want your island to be and what you choose to trade. So again, it is a bit of a win-win situation as you try to help your fellow players, but also achieve your own goals. But folks, ultimately, if this looks like something of interest to you, I'm sure they'd appreciate your support. So I think that's it from me, and until next time, we'll see you at the table.